Good morning and good afternoon, ladies. Our section on cloud computing and PC computing. And what exactly does that mean to you as a student and with your future work and future business and what have you, all right? And in cloud computing, I think there is some basic concepts of what cloud computing is and PC computing and what the difference is, but there are some still confusion out there. And cloud computing is one of those things that, although it's been around for a while, it still is in its infancy stages. Okay, so it's still young. And there are still some preferences one way or the other, depending on who you ask, all right? So first thing we need to figure out is what exactly is cloud computing and what does it mean and how is it relevant to us? So I got a little video here that we're going to watch, all right? And Mr. C is going to step to the side in just a quick second, and we'll let Frank kind of take over here. So I'm going to do a quick pause and move forward.
So imagine you have a dog, and your dog's name is Frank. It's a strange dog name, but just go with it. You and Frank are best pals. You go on walks together, Frank always walks faster, but still, you really love Frank a lot. You only have one photo of Frank, though, this goofy shot of Frank at his birthday party, drooling on the cake. And because you love this weirdly named dog so much, you're worried you might lose this photo. So you upload the photo, your favorite photo, to one of your favorite photo websites, like Flickr, Facebook, or Picasa. And without realizing it, you just started cloud computing. But what does that mean? When you put Frank's photo online, you could picture a giant cloud coming down to vacuum up this photo off your laptop. Then the photo of Frank, birthday hat and all, lives up in the cloud until you need to look at it again. You log onto Flickr or Facebook, and there's Frank. You can see him from wherever you want, from home, from work, even on your phone, in case you start missing Frank during your lunch break. At first, the cloud seems like magic, but it's not. The photo of Frank isn't flying around in the sky. Frank's photo actually lives in a secret warehouse full of computers. These warehouses are called data centers, or server farms, and they're popping up all over the world, just like crops. Inside one of the computer warehouses, there are rows and rows of refrigerator-sized computer towers that are way more powerful than your home computer. It's hard to know exactly where your photo of Frank may be once it's in the cloud. That's because it may be in a dozen of these warehouses all at once. Frank may be chilling in Paris or hanging out in India. There's really no way to know for sure. You just have to trust a web company, like Google or Microsoft, to keep Frank safe. There are a bunch of reasons to do this. The first is that, well, you only have one photo of Frank. It's on your laptop, and if that laptop breaks, if an alien comes to steal the data, or if your apartment melts when a volcano erupts, you're out of luck. No more Frank, no more memories. But when Frank's in the cloud, he's stored not just in one place, but all over the place. So you're less likely to lose him. You also can access Frank's photo from anywhere. You can send a link to some of your friends so they can see Frank too. That's just one of the many powers of cloud computing. And it's not just you and Frank. Entire businesses are running in the cloud. There are plenty of reasons to be scared of the cloud too. But for now, you decide to trust the cloud as backup. If Frank's happy, then you're happy.
All right, so thank you very much for that demonstration there, Frank, and appreciate your help. So yeah, hopefully that kind of gave you an idea of what's going on here, right? So let's look at the big ideas here, right? What are some fundamental ideas about cloud computing? What do we need to know? All right, and hopefully this presentation will help you out with that. What should students and business leaders understand about cloud computing and desktop computing? All right, what's the difference? All right, is one required for the other? What can you do with one? Well, that all depends, right? We're going to look at our essential questions here, tying in with State Standard 0101. What is cloud computing, and how is it different than PC computing? Okay, we're going to look at 0602. What requirements are needed to utilize cloud computing? And 1001 and 1002. How can I or you use cloud computing to be more efficient for personal and business related tasks? All right, pretty simple here, right? Now, believe it or not, this video you are watching right now is being processed and conducted and recorded using cloud software. All right, so the software is coming from the cloud. It has installed itself on the PC or the laptop and is allowing me to record it efficiently, right? Now, does that mean that there's not desktop applications for that? Well, of course there are, right? I just chose to use this for my school environment. In fact, anytime I do something for my YouTube channel for my personal business, not my school business, but my personal business, right? I use other kinds of software. Why? Because I prefer the power of the PC. You'll notice that there's a little bit of lag sometimes, or maybe that the words are stuttering or the video doesn't quite match up or is a little bit out of sync, right? So that's a disadvantage for current cloud computing, okay? So let's continue on to the next slide here. Know the definitions. Know the definitions. All right, so you're going to see a lot of know-thes here on this presentation. All right, how do we define then cloud computing? Well, PC Magazine, okay, a semi-authority on the subject, okay, states that cloud computing is storing and accessing data and programs over the internet instead of your computer's hard drive. In other words, the storage device built into the computer itself. The cloud is just a metaphor for the internet, all right? It's not really a cloud, as you saw in that video, right? It is metaphorically speaking for being over the internet. In other words, transmitted, received, stored somewhere else on some other computer, okay? Now, in order for you to use cloud computing, you gotta have a network and internet connection. Pretty simple, right? Sometimes you have to pay for what they call the ISP, or Internet Service Provided. Okay, and that's fine. You got to make sure you got to have your internet, right? Now, if you don't have internet at your home or your location, you have to go somewhere where they offer internet. Starbucks, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, so on and so forth, library, and what have you, right? Now, some cloud services are provided for free, okay, and that's a good thing. And some offer, well, regular fees or service fees, depending on the service, okay? Each one is different, okay? Cloud computing software might be secured or unsecured depending on the service. What that basically means is somebody else might be able to quickly and easily access that information, and other times not so much. And I have no idea why it told me that Grammarly has access to my information, but whatever. All right, cloud, what are you going to do? Right? It might be, well, you might need to use a browser to access the source, okay? Now that depends, okay? If it's using an application, okay, not so much. I'll give you an example. On our smartphones, okay, if I wanted to see what pictures are currently associated on my Instagrams, okay, or my book of faces, okay, I would put up that app, okay, and that app would show me those pictures and so on and so forth, right? It is accessing the cloud. Now, I can also do that from my PC, okay, but Instagrams is better with, well, the PC or the device application, okay? This software, it requires me to be using a browser and access the browser through the bookmarks to record, and that's fine, right? However, other things might not require a browser, okay? There's plenty of programs and applications that use cloud computing software so that you can easily do stuff with, all right? Each place and each application and each system is different. Now, desktop computing, on the other hand, right, stores and accesses data and programs from the PC's or workstation's hard drive. In other words, you have to be there to use it, okay? It requires direct or network access on a PC or workstation. Now, here's the question. Can you access these computers that are in my business lab, okay, on your own from anywhere else in the world? No, you can't, okay? IT can, our information technology department can. Why? Because they have access to those systems and servers, but you don't have access to them, right? So you have to come here to use them, okay? Usually does not require network or internet connection to operate, okay? And that's pretty simple. Right now, if I were to bring my laptop here, okay, and even though I'm not connected to the intranet and so on and so forth here on the system with my personal laptop, right, I can still use my laptop to create videos, sounds, so on and so forth, right? Usually you don't pay a fee, right? You usually pay a one-time fee to use the software application, or you buy the application or software, okay? But it depends, okay? Each system is different, each software is different, and it may be secured or unsecured depending on security settings, all right? Now, let's see what else we have to offer here. Cloud computing advantages. Well, there are several advantages to cloud computing. One, it's easier to share files and resources between entities. Pretty simple. You can easily share between cloud software, maybe your Google accounts or clouds and other phones or other cloud applications, so on and so forth. Many services are available just by having an account, right? Right now, I can go to my phone, right, and access all my Google Docs and my Google Sheets and my Google Slides right from my phone, okay? And that's easy to do, right? I can do it away from wherever there's an internet connection or with my, my cell phone internet, right? Low cost or low fee for many other services and rely on various servicers for security. Easy enough, okay? Now, when I say servicers, I'm talking about other areas for keeping their information secure, okay? Like a company might hire out to Google and be on the Google servers or database servers, etc. Right? Now, desktop computing does have its advantages, right? The user can control the hardware and software settings and security. Quick and easy on-site access regardless of the internet connection, right? As I told you earlier, if I were to bring my personal laptop in here, I could use it and still access the applications on there and be productive. I just couldn't use the internet, right? It can be networked for remote and secure access if you choose, right? And local users control the security, right? Now, I have also found out that especially when using things like Google Docs and so on and so forth, right, there tends to be a little lag, okay? When Mr. C is typing something, it tends not to be able to keep up with me, especially if the network's running a little bit slow, so on and so forth, which causes me to run slow because I'm looking at the text as it's going in, and I'm trying to make the error or the corrections of the errors, and I have to stop frequently because I'm like, okay, is it keeping up? Or maybe it crisscrossed some words and some numbers as it was going in, okay? However, if I use Microsoft Office, where there is no lag because it's a direct PC application, woohoo, am I fast, all right? So, yeah, you have lag issues to consider with. Additionally, Mr. C uses a lot of music software, right, on his PC at the house. Why? Because that PC is quite powerful, and they cannot access or have that same kind of flexibility with cloud applications and song recording software, okay? Now, there are various services available, and we're just going to kind of scratch the surface here, all right? Google products and services includes things like cloud computing, okay? So Microsoft, Google Home and Office, like things that you use for your Google student accounts, like Docs, Slides, Google Drive, Gmail, Suites, Sheets, so on and so forth, right? That's all part of the student or the home and office bundle, right? Access for free. You have a Gmail account, boom, you get those for free, right? Businesses, on the other hand, might pay for other services such as AdWords for marketing or other cloud platforms or G Suites and databasing, so on and so forth, right? So there you go. Now, Microsoft also offers various services as well. Okay, now they offer Office 360, which is their cloud-based platforms for using Microsoft Office. But usually Microsoft Office is installed on your PC and used as a PC application, all right? So when you talk about Microsoft desktop products and services, it's based off of PC computing, all right? And they might provide additional cloud services, all right, if the user is registered, all right? Your computer should have Microsoft Office. This says 2016. I believe yours has 2019 on there, right? And they store the files locally. In other words, to update and upload those to the internet, you got to physically go through the upload process. You just can't, share the stuff in Microsoft, okay? You've got to be able to tell it, okay, I want this on the cloud where you can access it anywhere, all right? Okay, Google Drive, there's the Microsoft OneDrive, all right? That's a different service, so it's a different competing company for Google, all right? So you kind of get the idea there, all right? All right, so Microsoft Office 360 is the Office cloud computing software offered at a monthly or yearly rate, all right? That has to deal with Microsoft. All right, so no other services continued. Remember, your Google student accounts is why some of you are working and able to work from home. All you got to do is log in with Clever or log in with your Google student accounts, and it allows you to create files and share things and put things in through Google Classroom and easily share documents between yourselves and collaborate and work at the same file at the same time, especially when it comes time to working on projects and so on and so forth, right? It allows you to easily share files, okay? Must upload files locally. In other words, if you store the files and you want somebody else to work on it, you've got to upload it, okay? And then anybody can make those changes on there, right? Local files includes files saved on the PC's hard drive, personal storage devices, flash drives, so on and so forth. If the file is not associated or created with Google Cloud applications, you've got to import it. You got to upload it, okay, to the application or to the drive so you can have access to it and interact with it. All right. And finally, know the answers. Hopefully, I've given you enough information here where you can answer these questions on your own. All right. So go ahead and take a moment, use Google Slides, right? Draw that text box in there, okay, in each available space and answer those 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. And don't forget the why. The why is important. So ladies and gentlemen, in under 16 minutes, we have a complete presentation on the differences between cloud computing and desktop computing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw this to an end.